Hi everyone, and welcome to today's General Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. Happy Monday, and first off, I will announce the winner for last week's Character of the Week, and the winner is, who's the winner, Misha? Who's the winner? The winner is Brad! Yay! With an honorable mention to Laura, and let's get right to it. So at Windermere, Liz and Hayden are fighting when a woman comes in. It's Hayden's mother, and Elizabeth is like, what? She is not prepared for this information. And Elizabeth makes sure she mentions the charges that could be potentially against Hayden before she leaves. Because, gotta push the knife in a little before you go. So Hayden asked the question that I've been thinking, and I'm sure you were all thinking, where was this mother when she was in a coma? And apparently she knew that we were thinking that because she answered that question, and she's like, oh, I knew you'd be okay, and whatever. And I'm like, great, you're Mother of the Year. Okay. So her mother heard about Nicholas and now wants to be there for her. And Hayden apparently blames her mother for her father being in prison, and apparently her mother turned him into the government, but she uses the excuse / justification that had she not done that, Hayden and she could have also gone to prison, so she did them a favor. And Hayden doesn't know the entire truth about her father, and I'm like, oh, great. Of course she doesn't. It's a soap opera. Why would she know the entire truth about her own father? I don't know. So Hayden wants to know the whole story, but her mother's like, I don't want to speak ill of your father, and it's like, well, then don't say anything. I can't. So she said, her mother's like, I love you and I want to help, but I need help too. And I'm like, oh, here it comes. So she wants help tracking down her diamond necklace. So she found out when Nicholas sold one of the diamonds, hence what brought her to Port Charles. And Hayden tells her Nicholas stole the diamonds, and her mother thinks she's lying, because why wouldn't you? And Hayden is like, between you and Elizabeth Weber, I've had enough. And her mother's like, Elizabeth Weber? And kind of has some recognition there, so what's going on there? At the hospital, Franco is calling Liz to check in, and he offers to be a shoulder for her to lean on. And Jordan is arranging for Jason to be arrested, and I'm like, no, you have the wrong person. Dr. Mays asks Lucas if he knows what happened to him, and Lucas says that someone tried to kill him, and I was like, oh, here we go. So Jordan comes in, and Lucas tells what he remembers. He came in to get his keys. Someone was standing over Bobby with a syringe, and they struggled. They shot him up. And then he remembers waking up, and he thought it was a doctor, but which one? I mean, it is a hospital, so there's a lot of doctors. And there's 4 just in that room. I was going to say 3, but there's 4. No, there's Dr. Finn, Obrecht, Monica, Dr. Mays, and, well, if you count Lucas, there's 5 doctors, but whatever. It's not doctor math today. It's General Hospital recap. So it's fuzzy. He doesn't know which doctor, but he knows they were wearing a white lab coat. And I'm like, well, Dr. Finn never wears a white lab coat, so that rules him out right there. But they were wearing a cap and a mask, and Obrecht just keeps eyeing Dr. Finn. And it's like, okay, if looks can kill, he would have just incinerated by now. So Obrecht wants to push Lucas, but Monica's like, nope, everyone out. We're done here. And Liz comes in near where Franco's sitting. She didn't get his message. She's upset. Jordan asks Monica to get all the information together about who was in the hospital that night and when people checked in or checked out. And Dr. Mays thinks that's ludicrous, and Lucas's memory is suspect. And I'm like, why are you saying anything? You've had like 5 lines in this whole show so far. Like, not even just today. Like, just in the entirety of the whole show, you've had like 5 lines. Like, why are you being so vocal now, Dr. Mays? And Obrecht tries to point the finger back at Dr. Finn, this time in front of Jordan. And Jordan isn't ruling anything out, and Dr. Finn is planning to be more than cooperative, of course. So Jordan lets Monica know a warrant has been issued for Jason's arrest in the murder of Nicholas Cassadine. And if she has any contact with him, recommend that he turn himself in. Obrecht demands that Elizabeth needs to get her all the records for Dr. Finn's patients. Elizabeth says she's busy because, she is. And Obrecht yells at her, and Franco interrupts and gets Elizabeth out of there. And Obrecht isn't like Elizabeth's direct boss now, so I don't know if she can demand she do stuff. So Elizabeth breaks a little and tells Franco she thinks Hayden had something to do with Nicholas' disappearance, but she can't figure out what. And Franco wants to help her out. Misha, what are you doing? And Franco wants Elizabeth to get a win, basically. She deserves a win in her win column. And Monica asks Dr. Finn point blank if he has a drug problem. He says no, but she wants him to take a drug test. And I'm like, well, that could be problematic. At the safe house, Jason thinks Nicholas is playing all of them and staged it all so he could disappear. So they try to figure out why he would do that and how. Maybe a secret passageway. But was there enough time? So they think he posed the body and cufflink before he made all the noise when Jason, or whoever he thought was coming in, came in. And then when they were making their way to the body, that's when he disposed of it so he can make his escape. Sam says even if that's all true, he had no way of knowing you were coming to the island, so how could he frame you? And Jason's like, well, maybe he was trying to frame someone else, namely Hayden. So Jason then gets a call from Monica, and she tells him about the warrant. At Nathan and Maxie / seems like just Nathan's place now, Maxie brings Nathan home. He's anxious to talk, but she keeps trying to put it off. She's like, it's not like you killed someone. And I'm like, lady, you live in a soap opera. You know that's exactly what he did. And he kind of gets that look, and she's like, oh my god, you killed someone. So he shot at someone, but doesn't know if he killed anyone. It's complicated. I'm like, oh yeah, that's complicated, alright. It happened when he was a cop in New York, but he wasn't on duty at the time. Here's the whole story. So he shot Claudette's lover. Literally, if you've ever heard the song Wake Up Call by Maroon 5, it's that story right there. Wake up, call you in the morning with another one in my bed, don't you care about me anymore? It's literally the same thing. So apparently he used to drink a lot when he was at Claudette because he was not secure with how their relationship was. He thought she was cheating on him, which she was. But he got home early one night because he thought he was supposed to work. He didn't, but then he went out for beers with his friends, and then so he came home earlier than he was supposed to, and he caught them in bed together, and he fired half blind and then just passed out because that's, I'm not even gonna say it. So when he woke up, the guy was gone, and he doesn't remember what the guy looks like. I don't even know if he saw what the guy. He just saw him. And boom, 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 boom. And he didn't even find out who it was. Claudette would never say anything, and the guy never reported it or checked into the ER, so he got lucky. So Maxie says now it makes sense why she couldn't track down Claudette. She's hiding from Nathan. So now she's seeing Nathan in this whole, different light of jealousy and violence and all that. So Maxie's not judging because she told about the lie, because she's told her fair share of lies, and she knows she has no standing when it comes to that. But Nathan knew all about her past indiscretions going into their relationship, whereas Maxie didn't know any of this, so this changes everything for her. So he says that he's the same, but he's had the secret the whole time. But to be fair, he probably didn't start out on the show with the secret, if you catch my drift. And he thinks he's told the truth now, so they can move on and have a life. But I think she thinks they're already past that threshold. You should have already told me this. And now end scene already, yeah. I don't know why my voice is like this, by the way. It's very strange. I did do a lot of talking yesterday. Anyway, so Brad and Lucas are still going to get married one way or another. Dr. Mays asks Obrecht if she really feels that strongly about Dr. Finn. And she says that he's hiding something. Takes one to know one. And I was like, that doesn't make you any more reliable. Monica tells Dr. Finn that she fast-tracked him, so the vetting procedures weren't done, and it would be her neck on the line too, so he needs to take this drug test. Jason wants to prove this whole thing is a setup before, he goes into the police, so he pours some drinks, and Sam finds Domino's, and there's this whole cute little exchange about how she won, and he's like, well, I remember winning, and she's like, well, your memory isn't reliable, and I'm like, I'm glad they can joke about it now, it makes me feel good right here in my heart. Heart's on the right, whatever, in my heart, you know where it is. They're so cute. Franco wants to set up hidden cameras, and Elizabeth is like, no, and oh my goodness, I'm plotting with Franco, what's wrong with me? And she's like, I can't handle any more complications, and he's like, I just want to help, and she's like, Nicholas was my only true friend, and he's like, that's not true, I'm your friend. Well, he doesn't say I'm your friend, but that's what he implies. Naomi, aka Mrs. Hayden, because I don't think I mentioned that before, doesn't say if or how she knows Elizabeth Weber, but she obviously knows the name, and She's staying at the Metro Court because she has points. The government didn't get everything. I was like, at least it's good to know that when they take everything, they don't take away your points. Maxie doesn't want to talk about anything right now. She's still processing / not processing. And Maxie's worried that this guy might show up one day and, like, mess with their lives. He already did. She doesn't realize that. Well, not the mess with their lives part. He's already showed up. And she says it's a lot to process, and she's going to her parents' house. So I think we're good on that for now. So it's good. I'm glad to know, like, what's going on finally. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. It would mean so much. And I will see you tomorrow for more General Hospital. Bye.